What up, family? It's the Bitesize Breakdown crew, and we are back with another episode of A Bigger Bite. And this time, I'm happy. I just am. One down, one to go with fighting video game films. And I'm just going to spoil it for me. It delivered. Maybe it did for everybody here. Maybe it didn't. But we're talking about Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel to the 2021 thing that happened. And the legacy sequel to the classic Shaq. Yes, I said classic 1995 movie. There's no other movies after that. No other ones exist with that name at all. But it's your boy Amarú, and always, most of the time, all the time, here with me, Bitesize Breakdown founder Nick. Nick, how you feeling today?
I'm doing all right. I'm not someone who has any kind of attachment or love for the Mortal Kombat video game series, so I kind of go in here relatively blind, and I think that's an interesting take on the movie because of it.
Yeah, and long-time writer, first time bite-sized, bigger biter. I screwed that up. Whatever it is, you see him on the site, or at least you see the cap, but now you see him in real life. Rob, how you doing, fam?
I'm awesome. Yeah, I am. It is like that thing, like long time listener, first time caller. That's me in this scenario. I gave up on Mortal Kombat after the Sega Genesis, not for any reason other than I just didn't get consoles that had it, or just didn't spend the money on it. But you know, it's mindless fighting. What don't you like? Get out of here if you don't. Is the point, and I'll say it. Just get out of here.
Yeah, and the cap is beautiful. Go New York, go New York, go. I just posted the Mitch dunking on Embiid one on the Daredevil Bigger Bite. Go watch that one. But back with us again, Mr. Kolby Mac. Kolby, how are you doing, sir?
Yo, what up? Your boy is in a makeshift podcast space right now because his Wi-Fi is doing some disastrous things. I hope I sound okay. I think I sound okay. I know I look good. The blue and orange is a great color. Blue and orange skies. I'm feeling fantastic. I am ready to talk all things nostalgia.
Yeah, we're ready to go too. This is two episodes in a row where I get to fan on my Knicks. I love it. I appreciate it. But Nick, I'm gonna start over with you. You're going in blind. How'd you feel about the sequel? How'd you feel about it compared to the 2021 one? Just let us know your overall thoughts.
I didn't watch the 2021 one until about 3 days ago for the first time. I watched it here at home. It was something I just kind of skipped when it came out. I hated that movie.
I tweeted it to me, basically his disdain.
Yeah, I really disliked that movie. I disliked quite a few things about that movie. And I think that there's no question that this one is a step up. I think that without getting too heavy in the plot, I think they made a fantastic change in changing who the focal point of the story was. I think that I definitely still have my issues, but that's what we'll get into in the rest of the episode. But I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was great. I thought there was some definite bad and some definite good, and that's kind of what I expect from a video game adaptation.
Rob, what about you, sir?
If you go into a Mortal Kombat movie and you're expecting a deep well of pathos and ethos, you're barking up the wrong tree. I mean, it's just like, we're there. The problem with the first one, and I don't mind 2021s because I ride for Kano. # ride for Kano. They shouldn't even do Mortal Kombat 3. It should just be a Kano prequel, and everybody will be there because Josh Lawson rocks. But like everybody, the problem was we didn't get tournament fighting in a tournament fighting based type of thing, and that's all we got in this, and that's all you need. Anything else is superfluous, and this movie
100%. And funny enough, there was actually a little bit of pathos in this movie. Way more than I was expecting from particular actresses and characters. Kolby, how about you, fam? You brought up the nostalgia. Did the nostalgia work for you?
Whether it was Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, I think of us 80s babies and 90s kids, we all collectively played it. Now, all the Mortal Kombats that have happened afterwards, I've not played that game since. 1995 is a darling. 2021, I'm giving it a mild mulligan because it was interrupted by COVID. It had the simultaneous release with HBO Max and in theaters, and surprisingly didn't do awful at the box office, all things considered, a much reined in budget. My expectations for this sequel, especially with having Cole Young, a newly introduced character, into the movie, wasn't high. I think I gave the 2021 film a 4 out of 10, which in the Kolby Told Me book, that's a bad movie. This is a slightly better movie. It's far from great, far from a flawless victory, right? I had to do that hammy stuff. But like what was said, we didn't get a tournament in the first movie. We got a tournament here. Everything that's action and comedy works really, really good. The glue in between of narrative storytelling, paper thin. You could tell me whatever, and I probably wouldn't buy it because it kind of just doesn't make sense. But I will say that there was a step up in the action choreography and the VFX, the practical character design. Like the one thing that we can give, we got to crown whoever was in charge for the character design of Shao Kahn. That looked really, really good. I got no idea what a Shao Kahn is. This movie doesn't care to tell you what a Shao Kahn is. He's the emperor and he likes to emperor things. But there's a lot of great fights, like really, really good ones. And shout outs to Karl Urban. And yes, Kano too.
There's a whole bunch I want to get into. Shout out to the designer of Baraka because that shit was dope as hell as well. Yeah. Like, man. I came in the movie looking for one thing and one thing only. I needed Cole Young the fuck out of there as quickly as fucking possible. And I really want to talk about how badly they did him and they deserved to do him. His only dialogue in the film was, if I gotta die, I'm gonna do it for my family. And they said somebody mentioned death again, and they just Liu Kang gave Cole Young the side eye, and it went straight to him. He was like, oh, this man is gone. This man is absolutely gone. So quick, fast, in a hurry, because they knew, like, why would you focus on the dude that doesn't exist? And I feel bad for Louis Tan because he's in Deadpool 2 for like 2 seconds and dies. And then they give him something, and then it's just like, dude, you got to die again. And the way they did it, you knew he was dead when Shao Kahn was there. But somebody, I'm going to mention Shea Serrano a couple times today. I read his Substack, Good Movie, and he's hilarious. And somebody in the chat said, I just said Cole Young, smiley faces, to not give anything away. And somebody responded, hats off, Cole Young. And it's a beautiful thing. Just how let's start with that fight. How beautiful. I will say they gave him a little bit of like I'm gonna give you some things to do a little bit, Cole, before we get you the hell out of here. But that getting rid of him and moving over, let's bring in Katana, which for me, her and Jade, Adeline Rudolph and Tati Gabrielle actually acted. There was acting going on, and I felt it from them too. So getting rid of Cole, focusing on Katana. How did y'all feel about that? No questions asked, because we don't need to ask any questions about that plot line.
I mean, when he ended up in the sewer, I was like, oh, done. It's a done deal. It's a wrap. The Shao Kahn showed up. I was like, yep, it has to be. We established that. And he didn't go out like a punk. He went out better than Katana's dad. I was like, whoa, look at Cole. And then they smashed him and they slid him across the floor like a bug on a windshield. I was like, yeah, that's about how kind of perspective we get for him. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with like the acting. I mean, it was video game acting, but the point is that it was better than Louis Tan, Cobra Kai season 6. Good on you, man. Made the tournament, whatever. But like, it's enough serviceable things to move it along and get rid of the bad taste of that out of their mouth. And I think they did that, handled it in a fairly smart way.
Yeah, I think it's funny. You said he was done dirty because of Deadpool and stuff. I know that people were very disappointed that the focal point of Mortal Kombat when you have all these rich characters was a new created character. But I feel like if Louis Tan had given a better performance and provided a more interesting version of Cole Young, it could have worked. So I don't really feel bad about what happened to him in the second film, because it turned out that he just didn't give a strong enough performance to justify his continuation.
No, not at all. I will say the second time I saw it, I liked the movie a little bit more. But hey, I said I'd mention it again. Shea Serrano called 1995, as I said it, a don't ask any questions plot. You just need something to move it along. And again, I thought the two of them, I didn't think I was getting any good acting here. And I thought, again, Tati Gabrielle and Adeline Line Rudolph brought more than I expected with that Katana plot line. Kolby, how did you feel Cole getting the hell out of here and us actually focusing on some characters we care about?
I didn't know he was going to be in the movie. I thought they were just going to yada, yada, yada. He doesn't make it to the tournament, right? And it's unfortunate. I mean, as a working actor, I get it. Them's the breaks. Watch Into the Badlands. Louis Tan, fantastic. Into the Badlands from AMC. Done dirty. The script did him dirty. His performance didn't help elevate the script. So they had to make a decision on the fly to not focus the appropriate protagonist for this movie, which should have been Liu Kang, but they chose Katana. That's the protagonist of the story. I wasn't mad at an original character because I think the audience would be served well in this modern translation onto the big screen with an avatar that can essentially be our surrogate to experience his world. And what they ended up doing, while the protagonist of this film was Katana, the audience surrogate was Luke Cage. That's a plus.
Luke
the
Cage
film
or
is a
Johnny
little
Cage?
bit at odds.
I wish it was Luke.
You know what? Yes. No, I don't want. I was about to cuss, but F Mike Holter. Okay. No, Johnny Cage. And I think that the film is at odds with itself still, even with everything that they learned from the first movie with bringing in a new character. This film is at odds because it's kind of
Finish him! Fatality.
So Cole Young didn't like the shit Kobe was talking and popped him off the screen. He's not coming back. Maybe Mortal Kombat 3 Kobe will also be resurrected by Liu Kang and everybody in the Nether Realm. So we're just going to continue what we were talking about, which was we did like where he was going, if you caught any of that. The movie should have been Johnny Cage's maybe, but they ended up with Katanas. I actually think, so I'll go back to what I was saying. I think, again, thinly veiled story, but I think it was glue enough to make you care just enough to be like, cool, I'm not taken out completely and get me to this next fucking fight. How did y'all feel about Katana and her Jade storyline and her dad storyline and Shao Kahn and all that shit?
I think Katana's great. I think Katana was great. I really enjoyed Adeline Rudolph, I believe is her name.
Adeline Rudolph.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her in this film. And especially in a franchise that I have been vocal about not liking some of the casting, I thought she was a great addition. I thought she's probably one of the strongest casted people there. Maybe top 3 if I had to think about it. But I think they gave her a moderately interesting story. And the only real knock on her being in the lead role is that the film is falsely promoted as Johnny Cage is that guy, and he's not. And I didn't hate that, but there is something about subverting your expectations where you think you're getting a Johnny Cage movie, and it's more a movie featuring Johnny Cage. I actually found he was pushed to the back a lot more than I thought he was going to, but I thought Rudolph did a really good job as Katana, so I didn't have any issue with her in the lead.
I ride for Talisa Soto, 1995, and even the sequel that we don't talk about, which again, comparison to this and Annihilation, this is like Casablanca, I swear to God. But I liked her in that because it was weird camp or too serious, but it played well in a weird campy movie like that. This one just seems fine to me. She just needs to be able to be serviceable, and I think she's that. I like Tati Gabrielle. You till I die. Like she's great. I like their character relationship. I think that plays. I think my problem with the Katana thing is like we know why she hates Shao Kahn. Kind of curious how the relationship with being the mole for Raiden happened. She's just like, I have a necklace and I go to the thing. Hey, that's our mole. Like, oh, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I just wanted like maybe like 2 minutes to flesh that out. Either way,
Again, this is a don't ask any questions or
yeah,
we could dig too deep into
I
this
under
shit.
that's fair. These are all fair points. The acting is fine. Like the best acting in the movie is when we don't take things too seriously. That's why, again, Kano is the best. And Karl Urban, like I said in a review, like he probably wasn't the best point like person for this. I think it doesn't skew quite what you would like for a Johnny Cage like personality, but when he's telling jokes, he's cooking too. So I think like when you're not self-serious, those two are the least self-serious. I think that's the best acting. Everybody else, they're there to shepherd it through, and they do a serviceable job.
Yeah, and speaking on the Karl Urban of it all, like he's never not good. And I don't think I'm as down on him at being Johnny Cage as everybody else, but I understand like it wasn't the like the Johnny Cage we know, even the washed Johnny Cage we know. But I would say he had enough. He was self-aware enough, especially when Josh Lawson gets in there and they start to go back and forth with each other. That and the scene with Baraka. Those are the two that I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is exactly the movie I wanted to see. And I'll say that the scene with him becoming full actor and Baraka turning and saying the great Johnny fucking Cage, like I didn't know how they were going to end this or flip it, but they continued with just a propulsive action scene going from one hut to the next and throwing them and doing all that shit. Johnny Cage can dodge this shit out of projectiles, I learned, because he didn't get hit not one time with any projectiles that entire movie. But like as soon as he started doing this thing and Baraka was just in slow motion looking at him, I'm like, this is the silliness we need. And Karl is working a lot better as Johnny Cage. Again, when Kano comes in and Josh Lawson just steals the rest of the movie. That was the one point where I was like, damn, he hasn't been here for a while. And then he comes back and he does some good shit. Those two together just stealing the show.
Yeah, and it's crazy that like Karl Urban's supposed to be like 56 or 57 in this movie. It's crazy. Like that part of the canon is also kind of insane, but don't think about it either, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I think Urban. I think it's more Urban's take on the character is what was a little off-putting to some people in that they didn't see him as Johnny Cage. But I think as a character where you're not relating it to that backstory, I think he does a fine job. I think probably his strongest stuff is with Baraka. They have a very like Star Wars humor to their relationship, for lack of a better term. And I think that works. And where I get what you're saying about the acting, Robert. When I saw the first film, I thought everyone is bad in this except for Sonata and Josh Lawson as Kano. And at least I had a list of a few more people in this one that I thought were good.
I'd give you Joe Taslim in the first one too. I think he was a good behind Sub-Zero.
I have my list. And he wasn't the worst. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he does a good job. I think Josh Lawson again as Kano is great. We were just talking before we came on in a time where network TV is kind of dead. Josh Lawson is hilarious on a show called St. Dennis Medical, which is
he's on that?
I didn't know he's on that. Didn't know he's on that.
He is very funny on that show, and it's from the same people who did Superstore. But shout out to Josh Lawson because he has a knack for making me laugh.
Yeah. Absolutely incredibly hilarious. Let's move on to what everybody was there for. The fights and the special effects. I even feel like the power moves were so much better utilized in this and in the levels and the tournament, one after the other. Gotta talk about that Liu Kang Kung Lao fight. That was epic as hell and actually made Ludi Lin feel like an actual Liu Kang. Like there was so much they did in that old one. Like they made Raiden an asshole. They made Liu Kang a little bit of a simp. They made Kung Lao a big asshole too. But yeah, that fight going from red to blue to red, and just the camera work, the use of his hat, the actual use of his fire powers. That was a brilliant fight.
Yeah, we were just missing bicycle kick, right? That's like
Yeah.
the one. That's like the one thing, and we had enough of that in the old one, technically, so it's fine. I think that's kind of a move built for the '90s. I agree with you, Rue, and I think Nick had mentioned it kind of off camera. While the visual backgrounds leave a little to be desired in that particular fight, I think it plays well with the aesthetic of what we're trying to go. Like, it kind of seems like an in between because we got Kung Lao back from the dead, and Liu doesn't know how to feel about it, and then he has to do it because Earth's on the precipice of losing, and he wants him back. And how they choreograph that, how they coordinate. Like in the first one, it's like Kung Lao has a big metal hat that cuts people. This one's more cool because it's like, oh, it listens to him, he can transport it, and it rotates and do it. I mean, we saw that in the first one a bit, but it's played better here. I think that fight, even the Cole Young Shao Kahn fight, is a pretty good fight overall. Like how the aesthetics with the green, the sewer is cool. So I agree with you that like it's not the most rendered spectacularly, but it's Mortal Kombat. I think it adds to the mystique of it if it's not pristine. I think you want it to be a little kind of muckety muck, and that plays well with it because that's what '95 was. It was a little muckety muck. Look at Goro. Goro's like the worst
Practical
you've ever
Goro.
seen.
There's no way you don't do Practical Goro was much better than CGI Goro any day.
Yeah, that's fair. That's an absolutely fair take. But I'm just saying, like the campiness of that adds to the appeal, really, of '95.
Yes.
So if you add a little bit of that into here, I think it plays well. It did.
Yeah, I know that Adriano, who writes for us, has called the fights kind of weightless. I didn't feel that at all. I thought they were entertaining fights. I get the knock where people say it almost feels too video gamey, but that brings me back to something like, not that they're on the same level technically, but something like Black Panther, where that was also a knock. But if the fight, like the action of the fight is interesting enough, like I don't care about that it seems too CGI heavy or too unrealistic to this world. If you can make the fight look good, you make the fight look good. And I actually think the Katana and Jax fight, even though it's relatively short at the beginning of the film, I thought was well choreographed and entertaining.
I thought both of the early fights, the Sindel and Sonya fight, like are the ones that kicks us off. And I especially thought the use of Sindel's powers, not only how it looked, how it sounded, but the way she utilized it low key, like Cyclops power blast moving her across when she needs, like that felt weighty. That did not feel like a video game to me. I think up until that point, I was like, all right, cool. We need to get the shit out the way, but it's not as bad as last time. It's not the Scorpion opening, which is awesome, but it's not taking me out. You get the 90s Uncaged Fury throwback, which I was like, all right, cool. You're getting Johnny in, but I need to see how these first two fights go. And the Sindel Sonya one is the one that sticks out, and then the Jackson Katana one was like, all right, that's not as heavy, but these are working really, really well.
You mean the Jackson Jade fight, by the way, right? I just want to make sure.
Yes. Sorry, Johnny Cage and
Katana fight. Okay.
Yeah. Are you talking? Yeah, Nick. Are you talking about the Jackson Jade fight or the Johnny Cage Katana fight? Because you said Jackson Katana.
Sorry, Jackson Jade fight is what I was talking about.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. How they
Yeah.
utilize the weaponry. That's really cool.
Yeah, the Johnny Cage and Katana one was like right after or right at the same time as both of them. You get the power heavy one, and then you get the choreographed use of physical combat. Jax's powers are physical, so like the two of those together, showing two different ways how they're actually going to bolster fight after fight after fight, I thought worked really, really well. I was also surprised how they just sprinkled in Shao Kahn's powers of his bull rush, but didn't make that the whole thing. Like all of that was dope. And even the I was hyped with the new Cybot and Scorpion coming back and that whole fight, going from one thing to the next to the next. It was just the whole thing put a smile on my face.
And I know it's a video game film, so like you can explain things away, but I do actually think within that world, they did do a good job justifying that why and how the characters came back. Because I know, like, even watching the trailer for this one, it was like, okay, Kano's back and everyone's back, Sonata's back, and it's like, all right, what's happening here? But like they did do a pretty good job of explaining it without it feeling like entirely goofy, which I think is pretty good on them.
And they use characters from the game that it would make sense. Quan Chi being the one to help bring them back. Like Mortal Kombat, nobody dies. Like everybody dies, but nobody dies. Over and over. And that also continues on to what Mortal Kombat 3 seems to be. Like I'm now wondering who's going to be the new characters coming out when I guess they go back to the Nether Realm and get everybody back. Like, and also speaks to the fact that the black man died. Of course, the black man died. Who else? They weren't killing Sonya. They already got rid of Cole. I wish they did actually. Like, I'm sorry, Jessica,
that is to me. I will say this, and like I was vocal about this with Rue after I watched it. She to me is the weakest part of this franchise. The little I do know about Mortal Kombat, that is not Sonya Blade. That is just the wrong casting for that character, and to give her as much as you give her spotlights how true that is to me. So I'm not going to root for a character's death or for someone to lose their job, but I think that she's played her role, and I would be fine to see Sonya Blade not continue on and go the way of young Cole.
Rue, I know what you said about people don't die, but I gotta be honest, in the theater when they killed Jax, I was like, oh man, they killed Jax.
Yeah.
and then they killed Liu. I was like, oh shit, they killed Liu Kang. I was like, what's going on here? I couldn't believe it. I was like shocked, even though I know the conceit of what Mortal Kombat is, and we just saw people rise from the dead anyway. But I was just like, whoa, they did that. And Sonya lived.
She lived. I didn't think Liu died. Like,
well,
he decided to go where he went and all that. So
he forced
when they stabbed him, I was
whatever.
like, Force Ghost disappeared. Yeah. But when he died or whatever, I was just like, they're doing something here, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, so good. My man Jax gets to come back. Cole Young can stay where he's staying. I don't think they'll do that for him at all. Maybe they will. I don't know. But yeah, just can't wait to like actually get back on track with just some good fun. Just eat your popcorn and have a good ass time. Video game movies finally, like understanding the assignment. 100% understanding the assignment.
The one thing about I know you and I don't agree on this, Rue, but the one thing about understanding your assignment is I think Mortal Kombat can be campy. I think it's very important that they know their camp. And I think they get away from that a little in this one with Spirit Halloween references and Squid Game references that I think took me out of the film as like, how goofy is this? And not in the way that the other camp works. So I think keeping it not grounded, but keeping it within its world, I think is better off for the franchise, because those little quips that they throw in there for like modernizing it, I think work to the detriment of the film.
For me, it worked.
I wasn't even thinking like I'm usually a person who likes the structure of a joke, but in this one it was more a vibes thing. I was just like, I'm laughing a little bit, but like I don't know what really Kano's saying all the time, but I like the way he says it, and it makes me smile.
And for me, if it was like Liu Kang who said it or Raiden who said
Yeah,
it, then
that'd be
yeah, I
weird.
get it. But the people who are going to like make those references, it's going to be Johnny Cage and Kano. And it's Johnny Cage and Kano spitting them off. So that's why they work for me. I'm pretty sure Kano had a bunch of those in the last one. You just saw it. He's the best thing out of it, and that's why it works. I laugh my ass off every time for any time they made a reference to Dumbledore or Voldemort or any of them because it was them.
A lot of things about wizards' genitalia. It was weird.
Yeah, a lot. But yeah, this is a good time. Robert, any final thoughts? Any other things that we haven't brought up about this that you wanted to just get off your chest before we get out of here?
No, I didn't make this joke in my review, but Mortal Kombat 2 is the first movie you'll ever see where someone's really excited about getting punched in the nuts. Because that's what Baraka was. That's what everything was unlocked for him when he got punched in the nuts. He was like, "That's it. This is my guy."
That would have been a wrong thing to put in your review because people are really excited to get punched in the nuts in the Jackass movies.
Oh yeah, you're right. Or get probed by robots.
Yeah. Nick, what about you? Any final thoughts about Mortal Kombat 2 before we get out of here?
It could be better. It could definitely be a lot worse. And I think if this is kind of what they keep giving you for future iterations, I think it'll do its job. It'll be a fun, pulpy popcorn flick that you can make complaints about, you can enjoy in the moment, and you can probably forget about afterwards. And sometimes it's nice to have movies like that where you don't have to think about it too much. You don't have to hold it to some kind of pretentious high standard. This is just a video game about fighting, and this is a movie which features like 80% action and 20% dialogue, and I got no complaints about that.
As always, shout out Hiroyuki Sanada and Joe Taslim for me, because the both of them they bring gravitas no matter what they do. He acted his ass off because Hiroyuki just does it all the time. But yeah, I mentioned at the beginning, I mentioned it now. If Street Fighter delivers on the craziness that it showed in that theater, 6 and 7-year-old me is going to be the happiest they've ever been, because Street Fighter ruined the back-to-back good Street Fighter Mortal Kombat movies in 94 and 95, and I've been looking for redemption ever since. So
I will say that Street Fighter has every opportunity to retroactively make this film better or worse.
Oh,
yes,
that's true. That's a good point.
100%. Hopefully better but in a good way. Just all rising tides lift all boats. That's what I'm hoping.
Sure. Yeah.
But with that, for Kolby, who's dead somewhere with his head chopped off, for Robert and for Nick, this has been another episode of Bigger Bite. Make sure you catch us with all our reviews on Bitesize Breakdown, top fives. Page just released an article, and all of our other stuff, all of our other episodes on the channel. And we will see y'all next time. Peace.